We are ushering in a new era of Blue Tiger basketball, and what a way to start it. Can we get another round of applause for the Marching Musical Storm? Well, we are here today to introduce the new head coach of our Lincoln men's basketball team. We have somebody who we're very excited about, somebody who has coached extensively at both Division I and Division II, has had success everywhere he's gone, has a great personality, and I am excited for all of you to have a chance to meet him. Before we officially introduce him, though, I'm going to invite our athletic director, our vice president for advancement athletics and campus recreation, Dr. Kevin Wilson, to come on up and say a few words.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you. I appreciate all of you coming out this beautiful Tuesday morning to celebrate a great addition to the Ambush. I also want to send my appreciation for the time for our search committee, our presidential advisory council members, and our community members who spent time to help identify our next leader, LU men's basketball. And lastly, I also appreciate Dr. Mosley and his leadership during this process. When we set out to search for our next head men's basketball coach, we wanted an individual with strong ties to this talent-rich region. We also wanted a proven competitor who was player-centered, resourceful, and would bring a culture of discipline, accountability, and grind. Respect for the monster, that is the Mid-Eastern Intercollegiate Athletics Association, was a must, and the desire to be a Blue Tiger was non-negotiable. That process yielded Jimmy Drew, father to Mia, and twins Molly and Emma, and husband to Suze, going on 6 years now. God bless her soul. He started his path to Lincoln at Southeast Missouri State here in the OVC, transferring to DePaul at a time in the Big East when it was the toughest basketball conference in the country. Don't believe me? His senior year, he ended up having to play a UConn squad that went 32-9 and won a national championship. After his playing days, he started his coaching career under Oliver Purnell at DePaul. Then he ventured into Division II at Kentucky Wesleyan when he won 20 games. Victory Rock Prep, where as a head coach, where he also registered another 20-win campaign. And also after that, he spent 6 solid years at UCF. And while he was at UCF under Coach Dawkins, he was part of a staff that beat 6 ranked opponents, recorded 2 more 21 seasons, a second-round berth in the NCAA tournament, a trip to the NIT Final Four, and this season alone, they managed to beat Memphis, Michigan, and Miami during the regular season, teams that made deep runs in this year's NCAA tournament. I know what you're thinking. They're pretty good at beating teams that start with an M. I agree. But now, you know, I had to reflect. So we got a Midwest guy with a beautiful family who spent time playing basketball right here in the Show Me State, competed as a student athlete in 2 tough conferences, learned from 2 well-respected coaches, and had success at the Division II, high school, and Division I levels, and was part of a staff that managed to have a 4-2 NCAA record, and also including an NIT Final Four. And this season, they actually had regular season wins over a tournament team, a Sweet 16 team, and an Elite 8 team. If you ask me, that sounds like the perfect play for our next head coach, just like we drew it up. Blue Tiger family, join me in welcoming Jimmy, Suze, Mia, Molly, and Emma to the Ambush.
Wow. This is quite a welcome in here. That was incredible. Thank you guys again. Can we give them another round of applause? That was incredible. Thank you guys. Incredibly honored to be here. First thing I want to do is start off by thanking President Mosley and Vice President Dr. Kevin Wilson. Would not be here if it was not for my time with Kevin at UCF. I want to take a little bit of time to thank my family, who's all up in the first couple rows. We're going to add to the ambush here. This is my wife, Suze. I told her I wouldn't do this, but you turn around and give everybody a wave. She loves that. And this is Mia right here. Molly and Emma couldn't make the trip. Yeah, good.
And then my family's in the second row behind them. My mom and my dad are a huge part of why I'm here. My sister Cassie, her husband Steve, right there in the row behind her, and their 3 beautiful daughters are all here. So thank you guys for coming out. Appreciate that. When the job came open, I obviously reached out to Kevin, talked extensively about the opportunity. He told me all about the people here primarily. Having seen our time together at UCF and the success that that brought, his vision for Lincoln, I knew that this was a place that my family and I wanted to be a part of. There's so much potential here, and when he talks about the people, what we're able to do here, how I saw him interact with the students and the holistic student experience that he brought to UCF, those things all drove me. I knew this was the right spot for us, and I wanted to be a part of it. Since that time, when we've come in for the interview process, including dinner last night, I mean, the town has been amazing. The community has been amazing. The people are so welcoming. The Blue Tiger Athletic Club, all the people that I got to meet along the way have been just incredible. A couple people I want to thank during the process too. Tim, if you're in here, Tim, I think somewhere around here, I bothered Tim quite a bit throughout the process, so thank you for getting me and my family here as well. Keena and Betty, you guys were amazing during the whole process. I want to thank you guys for that. The whole approach here for me is we're going to build this thing. So there's a great foundation in place going back a few years, and we want to build on that success, right? The 2 things I'm going to ask our players, I got to meet with them this morning. Had a good meeting with them this morning, but we're going to get to know each other a little bit more in our individual meetings this afternoon. It's my father's cell phone, by the way. Can we get him out of here? Is somebody here? Just messing, we'll let that slide. But there's 2 things that we can control today, and that's what we're going to focus on. That's great. That is great. 2 things that we're going to focus on, and that's the systems and the standards that we put in place from day one. That starts today. So we're going to put in systems for you guys to be successful. I told them this morning that identity kind of emerges from your habits, right? It's not about the results. These guys, I told them what happened in the past happened in the past. We're going to look forward, and we're going to start to build habits today that are going to carry them through the rest of their lives. So we want to build great young men. We want to graduate our young men, and we want them to go out into the community and be productive members of society. And the second thing that we can bring is energy, right? So we can determine today the energy that we're going to bring to this program. So those are the 2 things that when we leave this press conference, we know we can control those 2 things. So we're going to attack one by one all these things, and we're going to go after them. I always hold myself accountable. I'm going to be the first person in the room. I always look at myself first and my staff second. I'm going to ask our players to bring great energy, and I'm going to ask you guys to help me. I can't do this alone. My staff, we can't do this alone. The Blue Tiger Athletic Club is in incredible shape. Like, it's beyond what I could have ever expected. And we're going to ask you guys to do a little bit more. We're going to ask you guys to keep growing in the way that you are, and we're going to try to make this, we are going to make this the best home court advantage in the country. I want to thank you guys for coming out today. This was an incredible welcome, and we're excited to get to work. I'm ready to go. We're fired up. Let's go.
All right, we're now going to open up some time here for any questions from our media friends here for our new coach.
Coach Rod Smith, KRCG 15 Sports. Welcome to Jefferson City.
Thank you.
University. Big challenges.
Yep.
What do you look to do early on here? What are your biggest challenges, and what do we need to get accomplished quickly here?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, I think first I'm going to really get aggressive in putting my staff together. We've already conducted some initial conversations. We're going to get those pieces. Primarily for me, it's people with a proven track record of developing young men, and then they've got to be able to recruit. They represent our program the right way, and they've got to be able to recruit. So that's what I'm going to look for in our staff, getting with the current players, figuring out what pieces we need moving forward. We want to build this thing the right way. and sustain success here. So that's our focus. I think you've got to pick your battles up front. You kind of attack one thing, you pick your fight up front, and you kind of check it off the list. And that's kind of what we're going to do as I navigate this. We're going to try to identify what's most important and attack that first, and then kind of move on as we kind of go down the list. So that's kind of the blueprint for how we're going to do it.
Coach Natalie Jones, ABC 17 Sports, welcome
Thank
to
you.
Mid-Missouri. You know, talk a little bit, you mentioned recruiting. Talk about a little bit about your recruiting philosophy. You know, obviously a lot of talent right here in Mid-Missouri as well.
Yeah, I think I saw a stat during the national championship game, the Division I national championship game. I think 3 of the 10 starters in that game were from Missouri. And obviously, you know, some of the teams in our league that have had incredible success, a lot of that comes from recruiting the state. So that's going to be important to us. We're going to focus on this state. Luckily, we have a lot of connections in the state, and we're going to rely on those pretty heavily. But first and foremost, I want people that want to be here. Like, I love being in a room with people that want to make you better. My whole thing as a leader is I want to make you guys better. When you guys can reach your potential, that's all I want out of that. And I want the same people around me, people that push me every day. I love walking into the room, and I'm not the smartest guy in the room. That's pretty easy for me, but I love walking in with people that are smarter than me, people that challenge me, and that's something that, you know, as we build this thing the right way, we're going to get the right people here, people that want to be here. And then we just, you know, the 2 things I'm going to ask of our players is that we don't make any excuses. There'll never be a time where we're going to point fingers, we're going to look around, we're going to make excuses, and then you just give maximum effort. Those are the 2 things that I'm going to look for, and bringing in the people that want to be here.
Hey, Coach. Trevor Hahn, Jefferson City
Trevor.
News Tribune. Congrats on the new job.
Thank you.
MIAA has some really good teams. What's
Yeah.
it going to take to get Lincoln up to the top of the conference?
Yeah, I was really impressed watching the NCAA tournament. Obviously, you know, there's some teams here that advanced, won it all. So the bar is pretty high in this conference. That's honestly something that really attracted me to the job. I want to compete against the best. I want to roll it out there and see where we stand against the top of the top, and that's kind of what I've always strived to do. And you know, it's not going to be something that happens today or tomorrow. It's going to be a process, and we're going to build this thing the right way to sustain it. But I'm not the most patient person in the room. I can tell you that. My wife can probably tell you that. I'm a guy that wants to win the day. So we're going to attack this thing, and we're going to move this thing forward in the right way. But we're going to get after it from the start.
Can you tell us a little bit more about some of your ties to Missouri?
Yeah, so obviously we born and raised right across the river. My father's a Hall of Fame coach in the state of Illinois. I've played AAU in Missouri, played here in college. Obviously my family lives in Missouri, so we have a lot of connections here in the state. And like I said, we're going to rely on those connections. You know, a lot of my friends that I played with are still in the state and that have gone on to coach high school, coach AAU. So we're going to rely on all those connections when we're building this thing. Like we said, we want to put the right people in place, and if that's from the state of Missouri, that's what we're going to go after. And then we're also going to pick the right pieces from all over the country. One thing we want to do is we want to keep enhancing this brand. We want to get the Blue Tiger logo out there. We want people to recognize that this is going to be a force to be reckoned with for years to come.
As far as style of play, you know, what's the mark of a Jimmy Drew basketball team?
Yeah, we're going to push tempo. We're always going to want to push tempo defensively. We're going to always pick up 94 feet. That's going to be kind of our calling card. We won't always necessarily press out of that, but the thing we want to do defensively is we always want to speed you up. We want to make you play at a pace that's a little bit different than what you're used to. Speed the ball handler up, just speed your decisions up. Makes it a little bit tougher for the offense. And then on the offensive side of the ball, we want to identify the first great shot. So, we have a philosophy that there's actually statistics that show the later in the shot clock you hold the ball, the later or the harder it is, the field goal percentages actually go down. So we want to find great shots. I think shot selection is a huge thing for us, but a lot of the offensive side will be dictated by the personnel. So we'll put our guys in the best position to succeed, and a lot of that will be dictated by the roster. We've had success playing four guards around one big and spread ball screens. we've had a lot of success playing two bigs and throwing it inside, ground and pound type of thing. So we can do it both ways. Defensively, our identity is never going to change, but offensively, that'll be dictated a little bit on the personnel.
Overall, how do you feel like your time at UCF kind of maybe prepared you to come here? How did you kind of know it was the right time?
Yeah, Coach Johnny Dawkins has been amazing to me and my family. He's been incredible. Obviously, coming from the Duke tree, there was no better person to learn from. He's legendary in the way that he operates a program. It's first class, does everything the right way, true man of integrity. So I couldn't be more grateful for the 6 years that I spent with him. I had a chance to sit down with Coach and just talk to him. You know, it's a little bit of it was bittersweet. It was a tough decision for us. You know, that's a great place to live and raise a family. It's a great university. But ultimately, when I talked to Coach, he just kind of gave me the nod, like, "Yeah, you're ready. It's your time." So having that from him, a legend in the game, it was all I kind of needed. With his support, I'm obviously a huge believer in Kevin Wilson, and I've seen him move. I've seen how he operates. I've seen how he treats student athletes and helps them and their resources. So to me, everything, the stars just kind of aligned, and it was an easy choice.
Coach, you come to a program that has a rich tradition many years ago,
Yeah.
and John Mosley came here and reignited things, really got things going. Is there any added pressure knowing that he's the president of the university?
I had the chance to meet with President Mosley a few times now, and no, not at all. Not for me. I'm not a guy that walks in here and thinks I have all the answers. I know I don't. Why would you not lean on a guy that's had success here before? I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. He's been here, done it. I can lean on him for a lot of that stuff. I know some people would say, yeah, there's a little bit of pressure with him hanging over the program, like, you know, in that role, but not for me. We had a great talk. Chance to meet was awesome. A great human being and somebody that I'm going to rely on during this process.